What's on my calendar?
You have to upload a video in 5 hours. Sydney, I've detected an increase in your stress levels. I've placed an order for the Ninja Flame to assist you in filmmaking.
What's good, everybody? My name is Sydney Baker Green, and can we actually just talk about that opening sequence for a second? That is my very first time recording myself and creating a story. Those are all tripod shots, and I really wanted to create content for you guys that had a little bit of a higher value when I'm going to talk about a product. Really, put my effort into it. I want to start creating content, especially since we're growing, that really reflects me and doesn't, just seem like I'm trying to get you guys to click on my videos and stuff like that and waste your time. So without further ado, we are here to talk about the Atomos Ninja Flame. And I told you guys I had a new product I had added to my arsenal that I want to share with you guys. And basically, I'm sharing this with you guys because I really feel like it's going to elevate your abilities as a filmmaker, especially if you're entry level. We're going to talk about that a bit more in a second. But let's first talk about why I decided to get a monitor. Because if you would have asked me about a year ago, I would have said, nope, not going to get a monitor, don't need one, it's a waste of money, not going to happen for me. You see, I also didn't like autosave and paid the price on Premiere Pro. Anyway, so basically I got an inquiry to shoot a music video that had a higher budget and wanted to pay me more than any other music video I have ever shot. So immediately I got a pit in my stomach for a few reasons. We only had 3 days at 3 locations to make this shoot happen, all of which are on different sides of my state. 2, my previous shoots, I had a few instances where I had to throw away a lot of footage. For example, Toronto, there were quite a few clips I didn't use because they were either underexposed, out of focus, had noticeable flicker, or the grain value there was just too much grain in there for me to be able to use it. And the next one being is because all of these things happening at once caused a lot of stress, and I didn't want to be stressed out in the field. I really want to give my clients a good experience. So I decided to rent the Ninja Flame from lensrentals.com. You can find their link in the description down below. Not a plug, they didn't pay me to say anything. I just recommend it because if you like the product, you can buy it straight from there. And basically that's what I did because boy was I wrong about monitors. It definitely makes your workflow not only easier, but it's just nicer to be able to be in synchronization with your gear because you don't have to worry about the technicalities of shooting. So let's start off. What are the pros of using a monitor, but specifically an Atomos monitor / recorder? Well, the reason why I want to bring this to you guys is because a lot of you are going to supercharge your cameras, especially if you are working with lower end DSLRs. So basically, your camera's image sensor picks up a lot more information than what you get in your final output file based on the codec you're using. Basically, the easiest way to kind of give you a comparison is going to be the Mavic Pro versus the Mavic 2 Pro's 4K. Just the fact that you have 100 megabits per second and 10-bit color gives you a much more pleasing and cleaner image than the Mavic Pro's camera that kind of made you feel like you had a cheap sports GoPro, or like an older version of a GoPro just on a drone. So I have upgraded my 1DX Mark II's 1080p to a 422 color codec processing, and I'm also shooting in ProRes. And I can explain it to you by simply showing you this video where you can see the color banding, and it's just kind of an hazy image to me right here, right now. That is the difference between the native 1080p in my body and recording it on my monitor's recording functions. Although the 1DX Mark II can shoot 4K, my HDMI output does not allow for 4K output. So I'm shooting 1080p right now, but this is some of the best 1080p footage I have ever used. So a lot of these things are camera dependent, but this monitor is able to take your camera signal, camera dependent based off your HDMI output, and record all the way up to 4K at 30 FPS with 422 color codec processing in 10-bit color, and that is simply amazing, especially for things like DSLRs. I know the GH5 is able to fully take advantage of all of that because of its HDMI output, and I know the EOS R is able to take full advantage of that 10-bit color because it does have that output in HDMI. So it's all dependent on your camera body, but you are going to be able to get a much cleaner image off of your recorder. But let's talk about those of us who have log profiles. Where did this benefit me? Atmos HDR is probably the feature that I use the most out in the field because it basically took my log image and allowed me to adjust so I could see what my eyes were seeing. And this allowed me to really know, am I saving my highlights or am I blowing them out? Am I saving my shadows or am I clipping them? And that is really something that we need when we shoot log, because that's why we shoot log, to get that extra bit of dynamic range out of our cameras. But when you look at log off the back of your screen, or even, on a monitor, if you aren't able to, use Atmos HDR, it's gonna look hazy. And you're not always sure if you are saving those crucial parts of your images. But Atmos HDR is a feature that completely took the haze of log away and allowed me to know exactly what I was getting. Notice I said I shot with the 1DX Mark II, but I use log. Well, I use the James Miller C log profile, which is a mock log profile. But if you are one of the people out there who don't shoot on the EOS R, RP, a Canon Cinema camera, or the 5D Mark IV, you are able to take advantage of Atmos HDR because James Miller and Atmos collaborated and made the Atmos HDR feature available to us who shoot with James Miller C-Log. But if you already have native log and you're shooting with either the GH5, ARRI, Red, Sony, Canon, they all have all the log profiles in there, so you are able to choose your gamut, you are able to choose the log profile you're shooting in, and basically use Atmos HDR and get the most out of your image. And that is important because it really matters when you are out in the field running gun shooting and you're on a time crunch. You don't want to be worrying about the technical aspects. You want to be able to get your shots, be in sync with your gear, your clients, and have fun. And that's what filmmaking is all about. But on top of that, there's tons of other tools out there that I really enjoyed. For example, focus peaking, which is a feature that's not available on my camera, is available on my monitor, and it allowed me to get this shot. And if I would have had focus peaking, I would have been able to tell if my eye was perfectly in focus, and that could have ruined the shot completely, because being that close up, you will be able to tell it's not in focus, and then it just looks like an amateur mistake as a filmmaker. And that would have saved my butt out in Toronto. It would have saved my butt on a lot of shoots, but I couldn't risk it for this music video, and I'm so happy that, again, I went with this monitor. You have other features out there that allow you to see things like your noise levels. There is a noise profile that you can actually zoom in and see, in what areas your noise is the highest, and you are able to adjust your camera settings. So again, you have a really good overall view of what your image is gonna look like. And I think that's a really big thing for us out there who don't wanna be rejected in post-production and who don't wanna throw away footage files. We wanna make sure that we're spending our time wisely. Now, if you don't have log or anything like that, again, another great feature is being able to monitor in a LUT that you frequently use. So you can change your exposure values and everything like that to, get your skin tones right or whatever you want to be right in that scene based off of a LUT that you use. And that's a really great feature, because that's what I used also in combination with Atmos HDR to make sure that I was really getting the best out of my camera. And it allowed me just to be able to talk more and, work with my clients and direct a little bit more than, worrying about, hey, is my exposure on point? Is this good? Because, when you're a one-man crew, you don't have the ability to delegate tasks, and it really just made my overall client experience a lot better. I think the last feature that I really want to talk about, and I say last feature because I don't want to really break this down. I want to let you know what I got from it, what I think you are going to get from it, and why I think you will benefit from it as an entry-level filmmaker or a filmmaker in general. These things apply to everybody, but the last thing that I think everybody should really have and should really know about what this monitor can do is the waveform. Being able to see your waveform is an incredibly important feature that not all cameras have. A lot of Sony cameras do, but a lot of Canon cameras don't. Don't ask me why. Canon been messing with us ever since 2000, well, I don't know, since the 5D Mark IV came out. That's when I felt like I was getting trolled. Your waveform is basically your histogram, but with relation to the subjects and things in your footage. So from left to right, it's gonna show you the exposure values of everything in your frame from left to right, which is a really helpful feature if you do shoot with a log profile that has a specific IRE value that you wanna expose your skin tones for. For example, I believe C-Log requires that you shoot your skin tones around 58% IRE or 58.6, something like that. Although you can't get the point there, and don't quote me on that IRE value, but you will be able to basically get a good estimate of if your skin tones are there by looking at your waveform versus simply looking at your histogram or trying to eyeball it off the back of your camera. We are getting to a point in our filmmaking and with some of these projects, we cannot afford to simply eyeball it. And especially at a wedding, you know, I feel like a lot of people are gonna start out in wedding filmmaking. You don't have time to miss a shot. You know, you get one chance at a wedding. You miss a shot, you're screwed. So this is just a very good fail-safe to have in your filmmaking arsenal, because you are going to be able to, again, have synchronization with your gear, focus on your shot, and not have to worry about the technical aspects, because all you have to do is make a few adjustments in camera. You know where you are and you're ready to go, and you can shoot with confidence. So if I had to tell you guys two things that you probably may not like about this monitor, it's going to be the size and the weight. And these aren't issues for me, and I don't feel like they're really gonna be issues for people, but compared to some of the monitors out there, this is a 7-inch instead of a 5-inch monitor. And with the batteries, especially 2 batteries out there, it can be on the heavier side. Now, I didn't complain about battery life because both these Sony batteries are quick charging, but I did have to play around with the position of the, monitor on my Ronin M when I was trying to balancing it, just so the Ronin M didn't go flying or tipping over or something like that. And, I know when I have to position this on my Ronin S, it's gonna be a challenge because of the size. I did have to buy a special magic arm for that, but I'm not really tripping because, again, I don't complain about the size, and it's such a powerful tool. I think in anything in technology, there's going to be a trade-off. So like I said, I can't tell you on whether you guys should buy this monitor or not, but feel free to go rent it. Always rent gear. Don't listen to any YouTube video out there telling you buy this, buy that, because some of us are paid to say things. I've been paid at times to, work with brands, and so I'm naturally a little bit biased and want to give them a better review, but I always say at the end of the day, rent it. Don't take my word for it. Rent it, try it yourself, see if you like it. If you do, buy it. That's really it for today. A lot of people out there have already made reviews about this monitor. I'm not, new on the scene, but I want to let you know how it specifically benefited me and how I think it could benefit you. If you guys like this video, be sure to give me a big thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and turn on those post notifications if you already haven't. And I have a favor to ask of you. I have 6% of the 4,000 hours I need left to get monetized. So if you guys would like to give me a final boost, an energized boost to 4,000 hours in the last 365, please go binge watch some of my content. We are already at 3.2K subscribers, so I already passed, 3K. That giveaway is still going on, by the way. So, there's I think 14 days left. Go ahead and sign up. Link is in the description down below. Be sure to follow me on my social media. Link is also in the description down below. And lastly, give the YouTube fam some love. And you know where their links are? In the description down below. If you are ever feeling uninspired, want to give up, want to quit, want to get a day job, or anything like that, remember, every day airplanes take off against the wind. Live, love, laugh, stay inspired, and as always, stay fabulous. My name is Sydney, and I will see you guys next time. Peace out, folks.